Welcome everybody to today's product release webinar. We are super excited to have everybody here. It's right at noon, so we'll give a couple minutes for people to start rolling in, but I will go over a little bit of housekeeping, which is we will send the recording afterwards. So if you need to hop off or want to send it to somebody, don't worry, you'll get an email with the recording and any links that we talk about today. Everyone on the webinar is muted, so please feel free to chat your questions or use the Q&A, and we will try to get to everyone. Submit any questions that you have through the chat or Q&A, and we'll try to cover them at the end. And if we do not get to you, we'll try to follow up afterwards. So again, thanks for joining us, and it's now 12:01, so we will go ahead and introduce the team. I'm Mary Foster, Product and Customer Marketing at Ambition. On the line is Nick Love. He is the Product Manager at Ambition, and we'll be doing the demo for everyone today. It's a big coaching release. We're going to be talking a lot about coaching, sales coaching. If you've been following along with any of the marketing, you know we've already been talking about coaching. We are so excited to share so many coaching updates because study after study continues to show that this is the thing that managers can be doing to have an impact on metric lifts. So I'm actually going to chat out an infographic link to everybody if you can check it out in your free time, but it just has some stats about sales coaching and the ROI that this can have for your team if you're not already coaching. I know I speak on behalf of everyone at Ambition that we are really excited for this update, and we just can't wait to turn it on. So what we're going to go over today is not yet released, but very, very soon. There's going to be navigation updates, so the look and the feel of Ambition will be different. There will be coaching updates, everything from integrations to new agenda items to calendar invites and automatic email reminders. So there are a lot of improvements that Nick will get to show you all, as you see here in the agenda. Also, I want to shout out two teammates who really did an awesome job leading the charge. I don't know if they're on this call, but Michael Reynolds, Tyler New, special shout out to them. They did a lot of work, and we're excited to have them on our team. So without further ado, I'm going to let Nick share his screen and get to showing you guys everything.
All right. Mary, can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, so as Mary mentioned, this update covers several topics from navigation to the look and feel of the dashboard and layout, and then most importantly, coaching. So as you all know, at Ambition, we love to update our product, always improving what we have. And this release alone accounts for more than 20 customer submitted feature requests. So I thought that number was pretty staggering. So keep your feedback coming. We greatly appreciate your feedback and your requests. So keep them coming. We'll continue to develop on this as we go. And we're excited to show you some of these new tools and features. First, you'll notice this new left-hand navigation. From this navigation, I can access, your typical, your standard features over here like goals. But what's new, if you have the permission to create or manage goals, you'll now see that in the left-hand upper section of that navigation. Previously, you can only access create and manage if you went down to the administration area. So this new permission, or this new navigation is permission-based, a little smarter to help you find what you need in fewer clicks without having to dig through the administration section at the bottom. So once again, as a manager in Ambition, I have access to create and manage coaching. So I'll see that up here in addition to competition overviews, benching, and any active ongoing competitions. So a lot of updates here around the navigation just to make things a little easier to find. You can still access things like goals and coaching from this lower nav if you're an admin user, as well as people and data. So this new tree system shows you everything that's available for people, everything that's available for data, competitions, and so on. So we're confident that this will help save you some time when digging around through the nav. In addition, we have a new Get Help and Learn modal here. From this Get Help modal, I can see Ambition's release notes and updates so that you can get information on new updates like we're going through today. You can learn more about Ambition through our setup guide and through Ambition University, where you can sign up for classes like manager or admin courses. And if you need to get help, company support information will bring up your internal support. And then Need Help will allow you to speak directly with Ambition's expert support team. And if you just need to access your user settings, you can do that from this bottom left-hand corner. From user settings, you can set up your anthem GIF, so on, or you can sign out from this button here. So we've taken a lot of things that were kind of spread around the website and have brought them all into this left-hand navigation. With this sleeker design, you can still access your search bar here. And in the top right-hand corner, you can still access those quick actions. So if you just need to create a quick check-in or an action plan for someone, you can do that from that quick actions button. All right, so let's dive into some of the more exciting updates. So from this dashboard, you'll notice that we've added more tabs here. Previously, everything was located on this one today's activities page, but now since we've broken these out into their own tabs, it gives that full screen experience for each tab, like metrics, this new coachings tab, which we'll dive into shortly, goals, and we've moved the feed over into its own tab as well. All right, so this new tab system will allow you to have that full screen experience and allow you to dive in a little bit deeper into each section. So we'll start out with metrics. This has been a request that a lot of people have asked for, and it's the ability to compare a user to a role or to a peer or to a location. So I'm Amber's manager in this sandbox environment. So I can see that she's a member of senior BDRs. So that's what I'm going to compare her to. From this drop-down menu, I can select her role, senior BDRs, and then also look at the time frame that I would like to compare. So I'll say this week. From each metric card, I can click on trend to see a line graph over time, comparing her to her role's average. So I can see she's killing it. She's beating her team average across the board for these metrics. Now, if I'd like to compare her to a peer in her role, I can also do that. Let's find Andre. So he's also a senior BDR, and here I can see their comparison to one another over those same metrics for a pre-selected time frame. All right, you can also do this for other groups or roles. So if you have a location like Chicago, from the metrics tab, I can compare that location to a different one like Atlanta and do the same thing here. So a lot of new tools here to help you compare a user to a user, user to a role, or even location to location. All right, next we'll jump into the new coaching tab. This is where a lot of the work has gone into and a lot of the feature requests stem from. So since I am Amber's manager, I can see this coaching tab. If I looked at a peer's dashboard like Alex Weber, you'll notice that coaching tab is missing. And that's because I don't have access to view his sensitive coaching information. So a lot of this coaching information is locked down so that only they and their manager can view notes, action plans, check-ins, things like that. All right, so from this coaching tab, I can add to her coaching timeline. And then if I scroll down, I can see her complete coaching history timeline. So this allows you to go to one place for Amber and see any historical coaching note attachments. I can see historical check-in. So here's Monday's check-in with her answers. And if I go back far enough, I can find historical action plans, and it will just keep going down to the beginning of their coaching history. So here with an action plan, I can see the completed items. I could go in and view that to take a look. All right, I can also, from this top right-hand corner, see coaching analytics. So how is Amber doing in terms of completion rates for check-ins or completion rates for action plans? I can see all that here at a quick glance. If I would like to add to her coaching plan, like say a note, this will actually add it in line. I'll make this shared. Great job on the demo today. If I'd like, I can attach a coaching file. It could be a PowerPoint, it could be a call recording, whatever is relevant to that coaching note. And then when I hit save shared note, that will drop in right on her coaching history timeline today. So this can be helpful for sharing different tools that are related to a check-in or related to an action plan with those attachments. We've also revamped the check-in experience. So from this timeline, since I'm Amber's manager, I can see the due date for this one. So this one is due today at 5 p.m. If I'd like, I can go here and remind Amber to go in and fill that out, because right now it's still waiting on her answers. So I'll hit remind, and it's actually just going to generate an email for her. We now send emails for notes, for reminders to check-ins, and even comments that are left within a check-in itself will generate an email to that user. We also have the shared note or private notes. So private note is not visible to Amber. Only the manager would see that private note. I can also create a check-in. Some of you may be familiar with this functionality that came out several weeks ago, but I can also now send calendar invitations to users. So this will just open up an email in my Gmail or my Outlook with information about an upcoming check-in with customizable durations here. So this could be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour, whatever is preferred for that check-in. Okay. From various dashboards, you can view different things. So from Amber's specific dashboard, since I'm the manager, I can see everything that is visible for coaching for her. If I want to see a roll-up of everyone on my team, I would go to my managerial dashboard. Here, I can click on coaching and see a roll-up of everyone on my team. So I can scroll back and see historical check-ins with Amber, with Elizabeth, with Carl, whoever's on my team. This is going to be one roll-up of everyone that reports directly to me. And if I go to my personal dashboard, I can see coaching that is available for me as an employee. So here, Willow is my manager, and she has scheduled a check-in with me that's due today at 5 p.m. with 2 simple questions. I can either answer these questions directly from my timeline, or I can go into a full screen mode to review that. One little exciting update here is you can save partial progress now. So as I fill out this, you'll see progress will increase 1 of 2. And now I can mark that complete if it's ready to be completed. I'll show you one other view within this check-in. So if I hit review, this brings up that full screen coaching cockpit for coaching. So for this specific check-in, I can see when it's due, when it started. This new prep tab is new. This is essentially a streamlined version of that coaching history timeline between me and my manager. I can answer those questions. I can view metrics. We also support custom tabs now. So if you want to plug in Chorus or Gong or Lessonly, whatever tool you'd like to plug into your coaching experience and ambition, we can help you set that up now, as well as action plans and notes. So a lot here, including that prep tab, so that you can help come into a meeting prepared for your one-on-one with your employee. All right, I'll also show you a view for check-ins. We've had a lot of people ask for the ability to sort check-ins, either newest to oldest or oldest to newest. People have different preferences here. So we do have a lot of new filters within Ambition coaching. So you can find, your oldest check-ins for a specific employee. We have a new view as button here. So you can view everything that you cover as a manager or everything that you cover as a direct report or as an employee. And the last section I'll show real quick for the administrators out there. We know it can be difficult to find things within coaching. So we went ahead and updated all of our managed coaching tables. So this new look and feel has a lot of powerful actions here, including new filters. So I can filter once again by newest or oldest, and all of these tabs now have filters so that you can find the exact coaching note or exact coaching program that you're looking for. So yeah, a lot of new updates here within the manage admin sections as well. And with that, I'll turn it over back to Mary so we can continue. I think we have some questions popping up as well.
Yes, so one question came in which was about scheduling on the half hour. Is it possible to schedule a question on the half hour?
On the half hour, let me pull that up real quick. Oh, sorry, I was trying to share my screen. So yeah, you can schedule, right now it's just at the top of every hour. So 7 a.m. or 8 a.m.
Cool, thanks. Keep asking the questions in the chat, and we may not get to them right this second, but go ahead and keep loading them in there, and we'll hop back to them at the end. Okay, so a couple, Nick, can you see my screen?
All good.
Awesome. So with all these new updates, we just wanted to go over a couple quick ideas for how you might use some of the new features in your day-to-day. So a couple quick use cases. We're going to cover developmental coaching, call coaching, team coaching, and deal coaching. So just wanted to break those down with what they mean with these new developments. So the first one we will cover off is developmental coaching. Now the slide is very wordy. I'm going to include it in some materials afterwards, so it's almost a little bit of a how-to, but I'll talk through it. So developmental coaching is the best style of coaching to start with. If you're going to do just one, we would recommend this. It's a conversation, and it's not meant to chase deals or regurgitate reports. It's really about developing your person, and it's not easy to do, to be honest. It can be really tricky to become a good sales coach, especially if you yourself are a manager who was maybe just a top performer, got promoted into this management role. You may not be sure how to do developmental coaching well. It's definitely an art. We do have some templates to help make it easier for you. I'm going to chat a link to those out. A lot of really great brands on there that you can grab inspiration from to help yourself become a better developmental coach. But essentially, you're going to want to use the coaching programs. And the thing that's great about program check-ins is that it automatically enrolls any new hires that join your team. All that people management is handled automatically. You can use templates. We have templates in there, and then you can create templates on your own, and it makes it easy to create programs or share programs across other managers. And you'll want to use mostly probably the question agenda items. There are others in there, things like you'll notice a lot of new agenda item types like feedback, poll, external URL upload, file attachments. But developmental coaching will probably really center on using those questions as that's what is non-directive style coaching. The next thing is call coaching, and Nick kind of sneak peeked at this, but call coaching is a pretty specific self-explanatory type of coaching that should be done in addition to your developmental coaching. So typically the rep and manager either review the call together or separately before the session, and Ambition supports both use cases. So what's really cool is that if you use a conversation intelligence tool like Gong or Exec Vision or Chorus or something, you can use that custom tab that you saw in coaching to bring that dashboard right inside Ambition. So you don't have to leave. You could pull up a call to review together. Or, we also support upload types now. So if you want to send a note over to your rep to say, hey, listen to this call before our regularly scheduled session, and let's cover it as part of our developmental coaching session, you can do that. Or you can use the one-off check-ins for your call coaching. Like, let's say you just happen to be doing random reviews or screenings and something wasn't quite right. Use a one-off check-in. It might not need to be a program, and just attach that as a note and say, hey, we're going to cover this and figure out some ways to improve, or vice versa. Hey, you were really awesome and I want to talk about this and how you could do some peer-to-peer coaching. So call coaching is great there. Another one that not a lot of people think of, so I wanted to include it, was team coaching. So when managers think about their activities and objectives, like we challenge reps to do, team meetings are absolutely a form of coaching. They are a manager activity. And the problem with team meetings is that they can take up a lot of time to prepare for. There are a lot of stats for any of you who are at the customer summit. I think it was 15 hours a week. People were pulling reports for different meetings and things. So a quick hack or idea that we suggest people do is to create either a TV just for team meetings or use their sales TVs. They actually come with a meeting or presentation mode, and it already has all of your leaderboards, all of your graphs, all of your information right there. You don't have to pull it. You can just pull up the link on your team meeting and go through your data that way. A bonus idea is to include a most improved leaderboard so that you can shout out team members who are actually improving week over week or month over month in your team meeting. And the idea here is just to save time, to save that administrative work. And the last one is deal coaching. This is something that I think managers have to be a little bit careful with, because it can be hard not to just constantly chase deals or get involved in every sale. It's tricky. So what we recommend for deal coaching is using triggered alerts in combination with some action plans. So one really cool thing you can do is set an alert for, let's just say, large opportunities. Obviously that means something different to every organization, but let's just say, hey, I'm the manager and I want to know any deal that comes in, any opportunity that is over $500 in value. Trigger me an alert so I can get notified, see what the deal is, and then I can create a one-off action plan for that rep so that we can go over next steps, or planning or discussing the approach, or bringing in any executive sponsors, things like that, to move the deal forward. So we know that deal coaching is a part of it, but just being smart and saving time where you don't have to look through reports or schedule meetings just for everyone to regurgitate what deals they have open and things like that, really leveraging the triggers to find the most high dollar, high value, the ones where you can be the most impactful. So those are my 4 ideas. I will share the deck after the call so that you guys can hopefully take them back and use them with your teams or talk through it with your CSMs. And I know we're getting shorter on time and lots of questions are coming through, so we're gonna hop to the Q&A session now. Nick, first question, when can we expect the release?
The $1 million question. Yeah, we are in the final stages of QA or beta testing for all of this. So our goal is to have this live for everyone by end of week. We feel pretty confident that hopefully by the 20th, you all have access to the new dashboards, new coaching tools.
Awesome. And then someone asked, will the coaching enhancements allow management to reopen check-ins and action plans? So you won't be able to actually reopen them. However, there are a lot of actions you can take after the check-in has expired. So you can now comment and it will send a notification to the rep. You can rate the check-in, you can excuse it, skip it, delete it. There's a lot of actions you can take now that you couldn't prior. So definitely check that out and see if it meets your use case. The next question is, how do I save evaluations of former employees? Nick, would you talk through that?
Yeah, yep. So former employees, one thing I wanted to mention here, is that we deactivate users in Ambition. We don't actually delete them. So all their historical data is still accessible, whether that's their metrics or their coaching check-ins. If you have a specific need to dig in deeper with a former employee, please reach out to support and we can help find what you need there.
Awesome. And I know the calendar feature is something we've had a lot of questions and a lot of enthusiasm about. So one question that came in, what calendar platforms do you plan on integrating with? If you could talk through that, Nick.
Yep, so right now, any major email client will open up those calendar invitations from a check-in in Ambition. So we use it right now with Google. And we've also have other team members that have used it with Microsoft Outlook. So any major email clients will open those up.
Another question near and dear to my heart is about templates. Are you able to use a template for action plans or performance improvement? So when you're actually selecting the action plan type in Ambition, it does not support templates. However, the recommendation here would be to have a program for those reps that need to go through PIP or PRP, whatever you call it at your org. So you can use a template for that, create a program, and just enroll people as needed through performance improvement. But you can't actually select a template in conjunction with action plan there. And then a couple questions that came through the chat. Will this deck be sent to attendees? Yes, it will. We have not done a great job of, we send the recording, but we haven't done a great job of distributing the slides. So we'll do that better, and I'll be sure that you get it, everyone who wants it. Another question that came in, during a challenge, is there a way to chat with an individual agent versus the team? Do you have any insight on that, Nick?
So right now it just chats out what the group is for that competition. So if it's head to head, it'll message the individual, but if it's group to group or team to team, it'll message that whole team. So there's not a way to like pick out a specific user within that team right now. The other one I saw in there from Natasha was about insights. Did we remove insights? They've just moved to new locations, so we didn't remove anything with this release, but if you still want to access those insight metrics, they're actually on the metrics tab. So if you go to that metrics tab and just scroll down a little bit, you'll see that full insight table.
Awesome. We are just about at time. So again, I want to thank everyone for coming and participating today. As Nick said, we are expecting to release it in the coming days. If you have questions in the meantime ahead of then, please reach out. We always love to talk. If you have ideas for things you wish were included in the release or any feedback whatsoever, we would love to hear it. So please talk to us. And with that, we will hop off, and you guys can expect the recording and these other assets in most likely tomorrow, if I had to guess. So thanks, everybody, and we'll talk soon.